Well, it certainly was fight night in Vegas. That moment right there when they came out on stage was about the only time everybody seemed happy. Democratic candidates squared off for their latest debate. Blistering attacks against the newcomer. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg seemed to help cement Bernie Sanders' lead in most of the polls. In fact, the latest predicted betting market numbers giving Bernie more than 50% chance of winning the Democratic nomination. And there's one part of the market that you think would be feeling the burn, but it's not. Let's go off the charts. Chris Verrone is over at the Plaza with more on healthcare. Chris.
Yeah, Brian, that's exactly right. I think what's been remarkable since the Iowa caucus about 3 weeks ago now, the healthcare stocks that are perceived to be most at risk, given some of the policies out there, are actually among some of the best performers. The HMOs up 11% over the last 3 weeks. The biotech stocks up about 9%. These are the 5 best groups since Iowa. 2 of them are healthcare. I think it's a pretty compelling case that the market is discounting that these groups are not at the risk that people believe they may be. And I think there's a couple stocks in particular that trade incredibly well despite this. UNH is the first in the HMO space. Remember, this is a name that was up almost 120% from 2016 to early 2018. We then really had 2 bear markets, down 30, then down 20. We are just on the verge here of pushing out above new highs. Anything above 300, 302 is a major breakout. We think this continues to go up. I would also turn your attention to biotech here. Another place where we saw a really incredible bull market for about 2 years, and then a pretty devastating bear market. Biotech down close to 30% from the highs in 2018, but quietly, even when it shouldn't, with all the perceived risks out there, starting to act better. This is the XBI, so it's the biotech ETF. 100, 101 is a big level. I think we'll break out. It really counts about 30 points higher. So what in this biotech ETF can we buy at the stock level? AbbVie, one of the largest weights. I mean, we've had 2 years of down 50%. But quietly, over the last several months, starting to bottom here. The trend is getting better, 50-day back above the 200. The 200 is starting to turn back up. You've had a little pullback over the last several days. I think this is a buyable opportunity in a group that's getting better. So healthcare, HMOs, managed care, biotech seem immune to what are the perceived risks out there. I think that's pretty bullish.
All right, good stuff there. Chris, come on back here. Tim, you like UNH?
I'm long UNH. I agree with Chris. This is a chart that's really quite extraordinary. And despite the fact that it's up 40% since October 3rd, it's just the same time the S&P's probably done 16, 17%. They reiterated their 2020 guide. Their margins continue to accrete. I think a lot of the noise around the sector remains that for these guys. I stay long.
I'm long Anthem, similar story. Although they missed earnings on January 29th, the stock got just crushed, and I think it was really overdone. Then the CEO, Gail Boudreaux, came in and bought $2 million personally, and it seemed really overdone in the low 260s. I sold a little bit in here, but I am still long, and I have been long for years.
You know, Bernie Sanders can ramble on all he wants about biotechs and healthcare and big cap pharma, but Eli Lilly continues to go higher. Despite that, I think Lilly is where you want to be in.
Like Lilly, like UNH?
Lilly is one of the great charts in any sector, in any market, in any geography. This is a 20-year base. That one just broke out. Really good chart.
Really good chart.
Really good chart.